Oh look, it's that strange little snowflake Milo Stewart, this time complaining that because she just turned 18, men are creepy and bad. Yeah, Milo, try looking in the mirror sometime. But regardless, this is just some more SJW bullshit trying to blame men for everything. But what more can you expect from Milo, who describes herself as non-binary and non-sexual? Nonsense. But I'll let you see that for yourself as we tackle her video, Your Birthday Celebrations Are Predatory and Creepy. Stop.
Cute and canny, more than just one out of many.
Good morning, easily offended millennials. This video is going to be about 100% rant.
So how is that any different from any of your other videos? I mean, seriously, if you've seen anything else that Milo's done, you know she spends a lot of her time complaining about the state of reality because she hasn't reached the level of emotional maturity that would tell her that reality is what reality is. Deal with it.
Just feeling the feels today and want to rant about them. I celebrated my 18th birthday recently. And my 18th birthday is a day that several older men have told me they looked forward to.
And have you reported these supposed older men to the authorities? I mean, as we go on, we'll see just how wrong you've handled, well, pretty much everything. But the first thing you do with older men, or women for that matter, who express sexual desire for a minor is report them to either the police, or a teacher, or your parents. Anyone want to bet she's never done that?
As an underage child, I was told to always use my age if ever someone older and creepier wanted to be romantic or sexual with me.
I love how she says older and creepier. Yes, Milo, you are creepy, so I guess you're using your own creepiness as a guideline. Okay. But no, you don't use your age, you say no. Hell no. In no uncertain terms. If you say, I'm not old enough, you're just giving them hope for the future. If you say, never, no way, get the hell away from me, that will discourage most, and the ones it doesn't discourage, those are the ones you report. Whoever gave you that advice was an idiot.
When I was a sophomore in high school, so thinking I was about 15 years old, there was a senior at my high school who was probably 18 or 19.
Okay, if you were a sophomore at 15, then as a senior he was probably 17, maybe 18 unless he was held back a year or two. But, you know, math and all.
Who had a crush on me and was extremely flirtatious with me. My way of trying to get him to back off was by me telling him my age, because we could not legally have the type of relationship that he wanted us to have.
Which, let's be honest, is largely irrelevant. If he was under 18, you could legally have a sexual relationship, and let's be honest, most teenagers don't give a damn anyhow. Now, you're right that at below the age of 16, it is blatantly illegal in this country to have sex with anyone. It falls under section S376A of the Penal Code. But once you were 16, it was entirely legal for minors to engage in consensual sex. So this guy was both stupid and uneducated. You should have just told him to go pound sand and reported him to the school administration for sexual harassment.
When I told him how old I was, instead of backing off, he told me he could wait until I turned 18.
Well, did he? I mean, did he call you up on your 18th birthday and say, hey, you're 18 now, want to have sex? Or did he just move on to someone else who was more willing? I'm willing to bet it's the latter.
There are a lot of aspects of American culture which are super predatory and sexual towards 18-year-olds.
That's got absolutely nothing to do with American culture. It has to do with human nature. Whatever the age of consent is within a particular culture, anywhere in the world, that age is fantasized about by a lot of men, and let's be honest, a lot of women too, because youth and virility are linked. Now, I'm not saying that going after young girls and boys is a good thing, just that it's not a cultural issue, it's a biological one.
Like, people will pounce on porn made by newly 18-year-olds because that is the closest they could get to legally watching child porn.
No, it isn't. Pedophiles are not into adult bodies. They want to have sex with undeveloped children, usually age 13 and below. Watching an 18-year-old woman have sex simply wouldn't interest them at all. The whole just turned 18 porn thing is, as I said, because virility and youth are linked, not because people want to fuck kids.
To clarify, I don't think that there's anything wrong with waiting until you have reached the age of consent and then start a relationship with someone, nor is there anything wrong with making porn at 18. If that's your prerogative, go for it, boo. I have a problem with the way that we treat teenagers and how we make them think about their sexuality.
Nobody makes you think about your sexuality except you. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and making you have sex, and if they are, that's a matter for the police. Most people, though, have normal, natural sexual urges that start not long after puberty, and if you don't, as Milo here says she doesn't, then there's something wrong with you. It can be biological, it can be psychological, it can be chemical, but if it happens, there's something wrong with you. And if there is, don't make YouTube videos, seek professional help.
I was never taught that my feelings towards a potential relationship mattered because I am a human being. I was taught that they mattered because I couldn't get into a relationship that had the power imbalance of a huge age difference, because that is illegal, folks.
Then your parents failed you, which I suppose explains why you're an idiot SJW snowflake on YouTube today. And I think this is a problem with a lot of modern millennials whose parents were so busy with their own lives that they entirely neglected to actually be parents and raise their children to be productive, responsible citizens.
When you're a child, that's illegal. People will jump to make sexually explicit comments towards someone who turned 18 because they can comment something grossly sexualizing without being labeled as a pedophile.
And you still have no idea what a pedophile actually is, do you?
In the minds of those commenters, it doesn't matter how I feel about those sexualizing comments. All that matters is that their desires are not illegal.
Anybody who's just looking to get into your pants doesn't really care about how you feel about it, period. They're just looking to get laid. Welcome to reality.
You know, I noticed a huge increase in sexually explicit comments on my video about leg hair because I had put in my description that I was just about to turn 18. Now, if I'm ever receiving unwanted sexual attention, I can't use my age as a reason for them to stop their behavior.
Which means you should probably just stop making excuses, grow up, take some responsibility, and just tell people what the hell to go do with themselves. If you say no, you're not encouraging them to come back later. You're telling them no.
Which means that there will be some people who don't consider my feelings and just continue making unwanted sexual advancements towards me because their behavior is not illegal.
Here's a little secret. There are trolls on the internet. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. And they couldn't care less about your feelings. They say things because they want to see you get upset. And Milo, you're just encouraging them by spending day in and day out whining on YouTube. You're giving them exactly the reaction that they want. So long as you keep doing that, expect nothing to change.
For some people, the only reason in their head that seems valid to stop making sexual advancements towards someone is if their behavior is illegal.
Well, it doesn't stop pedophiles. It doesn't stop Catholic priests. It doesn't stop career criminals. They don't just wake up one day and go, "Holy crap, what I've been doing is illegal. I'd better stop."
It's just scary and frustrating as someone who just turned 18 and already feels a lot more vulnerable to unwanted sexual attention because I am now a legal adult.
But then again, your parents did a piss poor job preparing you for the real world, didn't they?
And especially because I'm asexual, a sex-repulsed asexual who has not had my sexual debut.
There is a difference between being asexual and not being interested in sex. You're not a Barbie doll down there. You do have sexual organs and therefore can't be asexual. As I said before, if you don't have any sexual feelings, there's something wrong with you. Seek professional medical or psychological help, because damn, you need it.
I feel because of that part of my identity, there's already greater pressure on me to have my sexual debut, and even fewer reasons and excuses for me to try to stop unwanted sexual advancements or reasons to reject someone.
Seriously, nobody cares if you have sex. In fact, I think we'd all be much happier if you never bred and brought another whiny, regressive SJW asshole into the world.
Since people think it's ridiculous that an adult could not have had their sexual debut, and how people think that asexuality is childish.
It isn't childish, it's faulty. There's something wrong with you.
Oh, by the way, on that note, since some people still think that asexuality is a phase, I will yet again say on my birthday, I'm 18, I'm asexual, I've identified as asexual since I was about 14, so wow, amazing, haven't grown out of it yet, wonder when that will happen.
It isn't a phase, it's a psychological or medical malady.
Heavy sarcasm. Heavy sarcasm. So those are my feels.
Well, that's because you don't have any actual thoughts.
Basically, if someone tells you they don't want to be with you because they are a lot younger than you and they are a child, don't say you'll wait for them to turn the legal age of consent.
Or, if you're simply not interested, say you're not interested. Don't use your age as a means of dodging the question. Because what you're saying isn't no, it's later. I'd ask why your parents didn't tell you that, but apparently they failed you on a whole lot of things.
Because that's predatory as heck.
It's not predatory, it's doing exactly what you told them to do. Why are you surprised they're doing what you told them to do?
And also, if you're an adult and you want to sexually harass someone who just turned 18, don't do it.
And if you're one of those special little snowflakes online who wears their emotions on their sleeves 24/7 so they get targeted by the trolls, well, don't do that either.
Only, do that if they want it. It's not that hard.
Then stop encouraging them. Say no. Block them. Ignore them. Report them. It's not that hard.
Really not that hard. Bye, lovelies. I'm going to go and enjoy the rain, which has suddenly started and ruined the lighting in my video.
No, what ruined your video is you, but that's nothing new. See, these SJW whiners really have no grasp of reality. It makes them unhappy, so they sit around and complain about it without realizing that, hey, this is the world you have to live in, whether you like it or not. Now, I'm not saying you can't want to change the world, and that's fine. It's a perfectly worthwhile goal to work toward. But you have to recognize the kind of world you actually live in now while you're trying to change the world to something you're more happy with. You can't just close your eyes and wish really, really, really hard that it's already changed and expect that to be actually true. It's not. Change happens slowly. It might not happen in your lifetime. It might not happen at all. You have to understand how things actually are instead of hoping that they'll just be magicked away by a fluffy mystical unicorn. That's why you millennial snowflakes get laughed at. You're idiots. You're idiots without a grasp on reality. And hopefully, someday, you're all gonna grow the hell up.